So there's a really good chance that before you started this program, you heard at least a little something about the law of attraction. Whether you were introduced to it via the movie The Secret, found a book that just kind of jumped off the shelf for you, a friend started talking about it, a spiritual path introduced you to it in some way, shape, or form, or even a business coach started talking about this idea. There's one thing for sure. The law of attraction actually helped you to find the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction is the law that governs every single particle in the universe. And when you just stop and take a look around at anything and everything, the thing to remember is every single thing that exists once began as only a tiny thought. So here's a real life example of a great demonstration of how thoughts gather momentum and how the law of attraction does what it does. I'm sure every single one of you out there have heard a piece of music somewhere. Even though you're hearing it in its fully manifested form, whether you get to hear it live or you get to hear it being played in some way, there's a logical piece in your mind that says, well, this kind of had to start from somewhere. And as a songwriter, as someone who is ridiculously passionate about music, that would be me, every single song that I've ever crafted began as just a concept in my mind. So in 2016, I was hired to create the score for a musical that ran in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And first, getting the job, of course, was absolutely amazing and exciting. But then I had the task of taking an entire script worth of material and crafting what would eventually become 30 unique pieces of music. If I, in that moment, was responsible for creating all of those songs in its fully manifested form that day, I would have lost that job. But as you know, law of attraction brings things to us piece by piece by piece. So the first step in that process for me was opening that script and really getting to know the characters and what they really wanted to say and share through music, and where in the story the best parts would be to insert that song. So, number one, being open to the idea on a more general level of kind of the feeling of the music. As I started to get to know the characters in the story, the characters, started giving me ideas. And so I would be in the shower, I'd be out for a walk, and all of a sudden I'd get this melody. And thank goodness I have my phone with me and had a record feature, so I was able to actually start getting some ideas down. Or there were other times that I would just be at home and just kind of goofing around on my keyboard or on my guitar, and then boom, some kind of really cool melody would show up. So sometimes the words came first, sometimes the melody came first. But in either way, once that beginning thing went from just a thought and idea in my mind and started to progress into something physical, then that ball started rolling even more. So as each one of those pieces progressed, I knew what other instruments to bring in. I knew that for these certain parts, let's bring in some additional musicians that are going to take this piece of music up to an even higher level. Then from there, the music gets recorded. Then when it gets recorded, we do all of the fine tuning and the editing and then the mastering. But then from there, now that we have a recorded piece of music, getting to see it go another step and have actors learn the music, do choreography to the music, and then bring all of this to life in the context of a story in full costume and lighting, it was like giving birth. And as you can see, just like the law of attraction, every single little thing, even an entire musical score, begins as a thought. So, empires, career paths, great relationships, healthy cells in a healthy body, everything that you can possibly experience and observe began as a thought. So as you begin to master your thoughts and master this working with the law of attraction, you can start to direct your thoughts in a way that create and attract and allow the things that you truly want to experience in your life. So before we get into the finer points, let's talk about what I call the Law of Attraction 101, LOA 101. Number one, energy flows where focus goes. And we focus via our thoughts, how we communicate, and our actions, with thoughts always leading the way. Now, here's the thing. We are wired to focus, and we are wired to think. Sometimes we focus deliberately and intentionally. Other times we focus unintentionally and unconsciously. As we go through this program, we're going to talk about how to become more present and how to focus in a way that truly, truly serves you. Now, the other part of the law of attraction, you've heard a lot of people talk about practicing the law of attraction. The law of attraction just is. It's not the fad diet of the moment. It's not the coolest, latest, greatest thing. It is an eternal law that exists whether you know that it's there or not. And it does its job to reflect life back to you, whether you realize it or not. But the key is working with the law of attraction, making the law of attraction your friend so that it can be your concierge to bring the best of life to you. Now, every single human being has something called an individual POA, or point of attraction. And I want to tell you, this is the aspect of the law of attraction that most people have misunderstood to the max. This is that part of cause and effect that most have really, really been searching for, but few have understood. And I'll tell you why. Because your point of attraction is actually a multifaceted thing. It involves more than one moving part. But when you understand what it is, how it works, and how to change it if you're not liking what's showing up, then you have the law of attraction as your concierge, bringing you all the good stuff that you had intended when you started this amazing journey here. So, it's definitely true that when you feel good, you are in that moment on a path of allowing and letting good things come into your life. But how many times have you had something like this happen? I wasn't thinking about that at all. And so how in the heck did that thing show up? Or, I am such a positive person. I wake up feeling good. I smile all the time. I'm happy. I use positive words. I'm just like singing all the time. I cannot possibly understand how this thing could have shown up. If you've ever had an experience like that, and believe me, every single one of us has, you just didn't quite know what was in the mix of your point of attraction. But here's the awesome thing about the law of attraction. It will let you know by what manifests. But here's the thing as well. You don't have to wait to the point of manifestation before you adjust your point of attraction. But before I go there, let's rewind just a little bit and let me share with you what your point of attraction actually is. So, your point of attraction is a combination of, number one, your general and specific beliefs, what is true for you, plus momentum, which is the amount of thought energy invested in a subject, plus your current state of being, how you feel now. Okay, so let's break this down just a little bit more. So let's start with your beliefs, your general and specific beliefs. Now, what is a belief? Simply put, a belief, according to Abraham Hicks, is a thought that you just keep thinking. It's a thought that's had enough time to generate and gather momentum. So I like to define beliefs as your cumulative level of resistance or flow on any given subject. Because think about it. We come into this world, and if you've been alive for more than 3 seconds, you've probably had some experiences in your life. You've probably talked to 1 or 2 people in your life. And as you've gone through your life journey and your life experience, because of what you've observed and what other well-meaning people have tried to teach you, whether intentionally or not, we've all picked up some beliefs as we've gone along. Now, here's the thing. If you're alive and you're breathing and you're here watching this right now, obviously you have some good, productive, positive beliefs that are in process right now that are very much worth keeping. So congratulations. But if you have some beliefs that maybe have gotten in your way of attracting and allowing things that you really, really want to experience, well, then you know it's time for a belief upgrade. And we're going to talk about some tools to do exactly that as we go through the program. Now, the next part of your point of attraction is something called momentum. And if you've ever seen anything in motion, especially something that is moving very, very quickly, you know that it takes time to gather speed, and that once enough speed has been generated, it doesn't matter what kind of a vehicle it is, even if it's just a person running, those things do not stop instantaneously. Think about a bicycle. If you're riding on a bicycle and you're pedaling full speed, and you suddenly decide that, you know what? I'm going full speed in the wrong direction. I want to go in the opposite direction. What happens if you try to instantaneously change directions? Boom, off you go. So, on every single subject, just like beliefs, momentum is in process. You got lots of bicycles going at different times on different subjects and different ideas, different things that you thought about more on this subject, maybe less on that. But the key to working with momentum is if you're going full speed in a direction that you don't like so much, the key, slow the bicycle down. So when you start to slow momentum down, and we'll talk about how to do that as we go through the program, then you have the power and the ability to gracefully turn in a new direction. So now you know that beliefs and momentum are both really big players in your point of attraction. And you've also now seen that it's taken some time to accumulate those beliefs and accumulate that momentum. So those two parts of your point of attraction will take a little more time to change and to upgrade. But here's a piece that you can change right here, right now. And that's the third aspect of your point of attraction, your current state of being, or how you feel now. Now, here's a really fun fact. According to Abraham Hicks, law of attraction starts to grab hold of a thought in 16 to 17 seconds. As we're going through life and more people are wanting, desiring, thinking, that energy is moving faster and faster. And who knows, maybe in the next year, 10 years, it'll be 15 seconds or 14 seconds. But you have about 16 seconds before the law of attraction starts to grab a hold of that thought, and around 68 seconds before you've got a point of attraction in motion. So, something you can do before the law of attraction grabs a hold of something that maybe you don't like is pay attention to what I call your inner compass. You have in your body an early detection system that lets you know whether or not you're starting to move toward or away what's best for you and what you truly want. And it's as simple as feeling a sense of relaxation or tension in your body. Every single one of us, it doesn't matter where you've been, what your story is, what language you speak, have all had those times where we've had that gut feeling. And every time we listen to that gut feeling, things work out great. So if you can pay attention to the thoughts as they come in and how your physical body responds, you can continue to choose the thoughts that serve you. So let's go on and recap what we've learned so far. So here's what you already know. Number one, everything begins as a thought. And that's right, guys. Empires, ideal sweethearts, great works of art, cash money, happy, healthy cells that fill a healthy body, things that were once, quote, impossible that are now possible, absolutely everything. So if you can think a thought, you've already started the process of bringing your desires into being. Number two, you also now know what I call Law of Attraction 101, that energy flows where focus goes. And we focus via thoughts, communication, and action, with thought leading the way. And you also know that the Law of Attraction just is. You can't trick it, bribe it, or practice it, but you can work with it. Number three, now you know. Your POA, your point of attraction, is multifaceted and is the combination of your general and specific beliefs, what is true for you, plus momentum, the amount of thought energy invested in a subject, plus your current state of being, how you feel now. And now you also know that feeling good now leads to more feeling good experiences and stuff later. So are you ready for more Law of Attraction secrets? Then let's move on to the Law of Attraction on Fire, Part 2.